news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
It is a Monday, as you can tell. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we were talking before the show started. It was cold. It's cold this morning. And just a little bit of snow out there. Nothing, nothing tough to shovel or brush off the car, but almost insult to injury.
Yeah, I feel like, at this point it's kind of we're a laughing stock right now. It's have a little more snow to deal with it too. But yes, as you mentioned, it's a fluffy snow. It's not going to take too long to brush off the car. But the temperatures this morning, well, they're still very winter-like. How about 7 degrees wind chill in Rome? I want to highlight, of course, Saranac Lake shot out to parts of the North Country. Minus 22 wind chill this morning. It is a very cold start to the day. But as you head to the south, Hamilton, Syracuse, Ithaca, some snow showers reported in those weather stations where lake effect snow is still falling. Yes, we're not done with snowfall, and we won't be done with snowfall for the longer term as of now. Yes, there's a warm up by the middle of the week, but we do cool down again by the end of the week. But the next 12 hours, we warm up into the 20s by this afternoon with mainly quiet weather, a passing flurry, but that's really about it. We have another chance for a passing flurry or sprinkle tomorrow, then widespread rain on Wednesday as those temperatures surge into the 40s and 50s. We have a look at how long this warm spell lasts, how much rain we can expect, and beyond that, how long this cold weather moves in coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, the cause of a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday. The time now is 5:11, and as we head out the door this morning, well, you might encounter some snow-covered roadways from that fresh lake effect snow overnight. It's a fluffy, dry snow. The temperature is still really too cold for anything to really produce significant snowpack, but as you can see here, main roadways are clear. Side roads, again, they are plowed, or if they have not been plowed, on some back roads, still the snow is fluffy at times. So maybe budget a few extra minutes, not only for driving on some of these roadways, but also brushing off the fluffy snow in your car early today. Now, at least early this morning, the roadways are reporting a lot of green, but also traffic really hasn't picked up yet, so our traffic tracker will be a little more accurate in the next hour as you get more data on, of course, the drive times. We can see some of those hilltops here on the slower side. Again, some of that due to snow drifts as well as that light snow overnight. The radar is still picking up on some lake effect snow here in parts of the southern valleys heading out towards Syracuse, but today, again, things do quiet down. A few passing flurries, otherwise partly sunny skies, and temperatures climbing into the 20s with partly sunny skies, eventually partly clear skies by your evening commute. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. It is time for Mardi Gras this week.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Monday, the day started out still very cold. Expect a very cold morning with a colder than average afternoon, but warmer days are ahead. Downtown Utica, live view right now. It's quieted down after some lake effect snow overnight, producing a light dusting to maybe an inch or two in some spots of fluffy snow on the ground. 7 degrees officially at Griffiths and Rome. Calmer winds, so it does still feel like 7, but with some stronger winds up north, the wind chills have fallen several degrees below zero. The radar again right now looking mainly quiet over the Mohawk Valley. A few snow showers in parts of the southern valleys over Norwich, southern tier, heading down, of course, along Route 23 near Oxford and Green, as you can see right here, primarily impacting south of Syracuse down over Ithaca as well. Now, beyond this cold day today, temperatures do climb quickly into the 40s and low 50s, potentially by Wednesday afternoon. But this is not a long-term trend. Following that, we're back down into the 30s. It's not going to be a polar plunge, but we're going to go back down to a cooler than average early March. In fact, speaking of March averages, let's take a look right here at the average temperature between the 1st and the 31st, going from 35 to 47, 19 to 30 for the average low. The daylight is the most important thing, though. This is the fastest we increase daylight all year long. We go from, of course, the sunrise to daylight saving. We actually go from 6:36 only to 6:43, but the sunset, 5:50 to 7:26. We gain an hour and nearly 30 minutes of daylight just in this month alone. So this is going to be a bit of a wake-up when it comes to changing seasons. So, bigger picture, strong high pressure, cold weather initially this morning. We start to see a gradual warm-up as these warmer temperatures lift in, and we'll see a mix of even a few flurries, eventually switching over to all rain by Wednesday. And it appears at this point that Wednesday looks to be majority washout with steady, sustained rainfall across the board. But again, zooming in closely, a few passing clouds and flurries today, otherwise partly sunny skies, partly clear overnight, with lows in the teens and 20s, climbing into the 30s by tomorrow afternoon with a passing flurry or sprinkle. Then tomorrow evening, lows falling down below freezing initially, then climbing above freezing into the 30s and 40s with widespread rainfall. Keep a close eye on rainfall rates here because, again, the last thing we want is flooding concerns, and this looks to be a widespread rainfall event. And so your 7-day forecast, we've got 50s on tap, low 50s if we're lucky on tap Wednesday, and then a cool down as we turn the page to Thursday and Friday. The greatest heart run and walk on Saturday appears to see a few flurries and temperatures down into the 30s. It's not a warm walk, but I don't think it'll be that bad either with cold temperatures.
So historically, Heart Run weekend, and it used to be in February for many years, but we've seen everything, including one day where it was about in the low 50s when everything started, and by the time it ended,
the flash freeze, yeah.
The flash freeze, and then we had snow. I remember I was shooting, I was a photographer way back then, and taking video, and I was wearing shirt sleeves because it was 50, and then it wasn't. So anything could happen. Yep. But good luck to the runners and walkers out there. We'll have a lot more Heart Run coverage coming up later in the week. Eric, thanks a lot. Well, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo running for office again.
Storm Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
25, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Monday morning to you. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's start this half hour with a check of that forecast. Coming in this morning, we were talking. It is another chilly one, and it's going to get warmer. But boy, winter just will not go away. Not at all.
Here we are, still with some snow, still with cold, and yes, waking up today, you might have a light dusting of fluffy snow in your car you have to deal with. But yes, we're all dealing with some cold weather this morning. It's in the single digits with those wind chills in the Mohawk Valley. Maybe a little warmer in those pockets of snow showers down to the south. It's actually a bit of an oxymoron there where you get into the cloudy and snowy conditions, and it's warmer with those wind chills and those clear and quiet conditions up north. A minus 22 wind chill up in the Adirondacks near Saranac Lake. And then, of course, a wind chill of 12 and 18 in Hamilton and Syracuse. The radar right now mainly quiet over the Mohawk Valley. Still some light lake effect snow taking place in parts of the southern valleys. As you take a look right here on the radar, we can see some of that falling just south and to the west of Syracuse. And so the next 12 hours today, now not everyone sees these flurries, but a passing flurry here and there with partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures climbing up into the 20s, upper 20s by this afternoon. So we've got a colder day today, but warmer days are ahead. A melt and widespread rainfall. We're tracking how much rain we could see and how long this warm spell lasts coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, and a programming note, just a heads up for the beginning.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Good morning, everyone. On this Monday, we'll share that photo of the day coming up in our next hour of sunrise. I want to showcase, though, the stats so far for snowfall this season. We officially surpassed 100 inches of snowfall on the ground, which does mean that in this case, we'll be dealing with at least the first time we hit above 100 inches of snow since what appears to have been 2017, 2018. Now, of course, the graphic not showing up here. But what I can tell you is that we are about 25 inches above average at this time. I don't think there'll be a whole lot when it comes to additional impactful snowfall in the near term, but we are looking at the changes in warmer conditions as we look ahead to tomorrow through Wednesday and Thursday. But again, cold weather moves back in. Again, we look at that coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning after Friday.
The Storm Tracker 2 app. Free to install. Use the icons on the bottom to navigate between tabs. Get instant weather updates and alerts right on your phone. Storm Tracker 2, where we track storms. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Monday, the time now is 5:48, and early today, it's a cold one. On top of that, even if some spots waking up to a few lake effect snow showers. But here in the Mohawk Valley, a live look in downtown Utica right now. The snow is ended. Main roadways are plowed and treated. They are, of course, no issues to drive on. Side roads and less driven on, I would say, back roads. Could see still some snow on the ground there. So budget a few extra minutes for that, as well as the fact that you might have to brush off an inch or two of fluff on your car early this morning. Current temperature sitting at 7 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Calm wind, so it does still feel like 7 out there today. And the radar, mainly quiet in the Mohawk Valley. To our south and west is where that lake effect activity has moved compared to overnight, where it was over pretty much the Utica-Rome area. So we'll keep a close eye on this snowfall today. It's going to pass over us briefly. You could encounter a brief flurry or two, but for the most part today, things are looking quiet. Now, in the near term, Tuesday through Thursday, we're looking at a warm-up. 40s, potentially as high as 50 on Wednesday if we're lucky. And beyond that, a cool down moves in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is not a long-term warm-up, but a more than welcome warm-up here in our area. But the concern will be on Wednesday with the potential for widespread rainfall moving in. Well, it was March 1st on Saturday, and welcome to March. Here's a look at the changes that take place this month from 35 to 47, the average high. I want to focus more on the daylight time, especially the sunset times, which go from 5:50 on Saturday to 7:26 by the end of the month. And that, of course, equates to an hour and 28 minutes of additional daylight between the 1st and the 31st. This is the month that gains the most daylight all year long, as, of course, we enter the spring equinox, middle of the month around the 20th. So high pressure keeping things cold initially today, but that cold air erodes and warmer air moves in. But notice here, along with that warmer air, we're going to see the arrival of widespread rainfall on Wednesday. So it won't be completely sunny and dry along with 50s. It'll be rainy with 50s. The Skycast today showing temperatures in the 20s, a few clouds passing over us, partly sunny skies. Tonight, cold temperatures in the teens and 20s, warming up into the 30s by tomorrow afternoon, with the passage of a flurry or sprinkle as this front moves over us. And then we'll see those temperatures remain in the 20s and 30s overnight, climbing as high as the 30s, 40s, and then eventually, if we're lucky, low 50s by Wednesday afternoon, with, of course, that widespread rainfall. And when it comes to rainfall accumulations, as you can see here, the totals will actually climb quickly from Tuesday night into Wednesday night, and we'll see here some spots picking up over an inch of rainfall. Something to monitor along with that snow melt through the middle of the week. Your 7-day forecast following this warmer stretch. By Thursday, things will continue to cool down. Friday and Saturday, 30s, and of course the main thing, the Heart Run and Walk. It's going to be in the 30s with a passing snow shower. I don't think it'll be a complete snow out, or at least a comparative to washout, but it'll be a colder one.
Yeah, so bundle up if you're running and walking, and but it has been colder in the past, so enjoy that. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, firefighters in the Carolinas are...
The news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Monday morning to you. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
We have a lot to get to this morning, but we want to get right to a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. And winter is just holding on. Frigid temperatures, single digits right now. I see at the bottom of your screen, and a little bit of snowfall out there. Nothing even to shovel really, but it's hanging on.
Yeah, it doesn't want to leave.
No?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's a cold morning. It's a 7-degree start to the day today. In fact, take a look at those current conditions, because some locations up north waking up a little colder. Look at this wind chill here, sitting at minus 23. It is a cold start up in Saranac Lake early today, and as you head to the south, wind chills in the teens. In fact, the warmest temperature sits at Dansville, warmest wind chill, I should say, at 22 degrees down in south of the Finger Lakes. The radar right now looks mainly quiet over the Mohawk Valley, but to our south, primarily south of Syracuse and parts of the southern valleys near the southern tier, reporting some lake effect snow showers, light snow early today. Now, all of us, at least most of us in the Mohawk Valley, did see some snowfall last night. It's a fluffy, dry snow. It wouldn't take too much to brush off your car. Matter of fact, you could blow the snow off your car just by blowing on it. That's how light some of this is. The temperatures today do climb into the upper 20s with partly sunny skies and a passing flurry. So most of this impactful lake effect is over and done with. But as we head throughout the next few days, a warm-up is on the way, along with widespread rain. We'll be tracking, of course, area creeks, streams, and rivers. But on top of that, we'll let you know how long this warm stretch lasts and when cold weather moves back in again in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget that Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, the cause of a house...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good Monday morning, everyone. The time now is 6:11, and heading out the door today, well, you might be brushing off a dusting of fluffy snow in your car early this morning. In fact, some side roads as well might be a little snow covered. But as we take a look at some major roadways across the area, they're plowed, they're treated. You should have no issues driving on them early this morning. But again, budget extra minute or so to brush the snow off and potentially take it easy on some of those side roads, which still might be snow covered. But as we head throughout the day today, we remain below freezing. So a lot of this snowfall isn't going to really melt all too much, aside from some spots that see some of that sunshine peeking out. And the traffic tracker early this morning showing mainly green across the board. Of course, those main roads looking okay. A few slowdowns, some side roads in those higher elevations due to potential snow drifts, as well as, of course, the fact that some of the plows may have not gotten to your road just yet. But the radar right now is showing quiet conditions in the Mohawk Valley. Lake effect snow to our south and west. South of Syracuse, heading south of Route 20, heading toward Norwich, Oxford, and down in Greene in Chenango County. And so this morning we'll be dealing with partly sunny skies and a passing flurry or two. We'll see high temperatures in the 20s this afternoon, and tonight partly clear skies with temperatures falling back down into the teens once more. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. It's time for Mardi Gras this week, and that means...
Well, your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
Car crash?
Harding Mazzotti knows how to win, and we win a lot.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Monday, the time now is 6:17, and heading out the door today, well, it's a cold one as well as it was a snowy one last night, so maybe brushing off an inch or two of fluffy snow on your car. Downtown Utica, live view right now. We can see the sun slowly starting to rise out in the distance. Keep in mind that a week from now, due to daylight saving, that sunrise will be a bit later, or I should say a bit later in the morning. It's going to take a little bit for us to catch up with some of that sunrise time, but we'll show the official numbers coming up in a minute. Calm winds, 8 miles, or I should say 8 degrees out there early today with cloudy skies and a few peaks of sunshine out to the east. We're also tracking a few lake effect snow bands heading south of Syracuse, impacting parts of Shenango County and even parts of Madison County right here, just to the south and west of Hamilton. Now, as we turn the page beyond today through Tuesday and Thursday, we'll see those temperatures warm up into the 40s, potentially approaching 50 degrees if we're lucky on Wednesday. And although you're seeing this temperature and thinking maybe it's great for some sunglasses and shorts, well, it's going to be a bit of a rainy one on Wednesday, so you might have to grab that rain jacket and umbrella instead. In the wake of this warm spell, we're down into the 30s by Friday through Sunday. So it's not a very long duration warm spell, but we're going to start seeing a lot more of those as we see that stronger sun angle as well as these longer daylight hours. In fact, speaking of the changing conditions, here's a look at March's changing weather. From the 1st to the 31st, we go from 35 to 47, the average high. Main thing, though, the changing conditions with sunrises and sunsets. As I mentioned, due to daylight saving, 6:36, 6:43. The sunrise doesn't change all too much. The sunset, though, will, 5:50 to 7:26. You factor all that in, we're gaining an hour and 28 minutes of daylight in this month alone. This is the fastest we gain daylight all year long, as of course we are around the spring equinox here this month. So high pressure in place today, dragging that cold air away will be an arrival of a low pressure system. This will bring warmer temperatures and widespread rainfall to our area on Wednesday. So although it's a colder one today with highs only in the 20s, overnight lows tonight down into the teens and low 20s. Tomorrow we'll see highs climb into the 30s, a brief passing flurry or sprinkle, followed by quiet weather, and then after a colder start Wednesday, 30s, 40s, potentially low 50s with that strong south wind and sustained heavy rainfall in some parts of the area. As you can see here, initially not a whole lot of rain, but as we see that system move in, we'll see those accumulations reach as high as an inch or two in parts of the area, primarily hilltop locations due to upsloping. So it's something to monitor, especially with all that snow melt. We don't want to worry about flooding, but again, we'll keep a close eye on area creeks, streams, and rivers. Down into the 30s by Friday and Saturday, of course, just in time for the greatest heart run and walk. It'll be a cold one, but not too cold. And I mentioned there's been some pretty
bone-chilling days. There's been some warm days, been some rain, been a lot of snow, so it has certainly run the gambit and looks like not too bad.
Not too bad, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, former New York Governor Andrew 25, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Monday morning to you. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
So let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast. And chilly, still in the single digits right now, but it could be worse. Way up north is a lot colder.
Yes.
But winter just won't loosen that grip just yet.
No, it won't. We got a cold one as well as even last night. A few snow showers, enough to coat the roadways and put a dusting of snow in the cars. But yes, this morning, the temperatures across the area, not too warm out. And I want to emphasize, of course, the temperature, which is, or I should say wind chill, which is still very cold up in Saranac Lake at -23. As you head down the Hudson Valley, you see plenty of sunshine from Albany, Poughkeepsie, with temperatures in the single digits and low teens. In the Mohawk Valley, we're sitting at an 8-degree wind chill, 12 down in Hamilton and 8 as you head down to the southern tier in Binghamton. Now the radar right now is showing mainly quiet weather over the Mohawk Valley to our south and west. Some lake effect snow, and that of course will pass over us briefly, a passing flurry, but beside that, temperatures climb as high as the low to mid 20s. In fact, some spots upper 20s in the Mohawk Valley with partly sunny skies. It's a cold but mainly dry day today. We've got a warmer spell on tap between tomorrow through Thursday. Along with that too, though, there's potential for widespread rains. This won't be a dry and warm stretch, but we have a look at how much rain we can expect on Wednesday, plus how long this warm stretch lasts coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning at
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody, on this Monday morning. Our photo of the day takes us to the town of Manheim. Shout out to the folks who live in the Manheim area. This is a photo submitted to us of winter clouds. No, those aren't mountains in the distance. Those are clouds just ahead of a sunrise out in the distance. Now, from the way this setup appears to look, this appears to be a lake effect snow band. A lot of the low-lying clouds from these types of setups usually are very close to the ground, sometimes close to the ground enough where they fall below the radar scans, are completely invisible. It's all part of the what's called the boundary layer in the atmosphere, which is where all this lake effect does take place. So thank you for the submission. If you would like to submit a photo like this one, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Now, in our last hour, I mentioned that we were approaching, at least surpassing, 100 inches of snowfall this season, and we did it. 101.4 inches to date, 79.1 the average at this point typically in a year. So we're 22.3 inches above average as of now, and on top of that, this is the first time we surpassed 100 inches of snow since the 2017-2018 season. So it's been quite a bit since we've seen this much snowfall in Utica itself. Obviously, these are just measurements in the city. Some locations, north and south, have seen either a lot more or a lot less. But the general idea is that Utica has had these records since the 1950s. So we are tracking a warmer stretch beyond today through the middle of the week. We'll let you know how warm it gets and how long it lasts in that forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Hollywood's most glamorous nights.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday. Happy first Monday of March and our first work week of March. Now, although it's a cold one today, warmer days are ahead. It's not a long-term trend, though, as we're back into the 30s at the end of the work week. But let's take a look at what's going on out there right now. Live look at downtown Utica. Sun is rising out in the distance. Still a very light overcast over the area as we speak. Current temperature sits at 8 degrees with the calm winds in the valley. Still feels like 8 out there early today. And the radar looking mainly quiet in the Mohawk Valley. To our south and to our west is where we're still seeing some lake effect snow. It's sputtering out there right now, and we could see a passing flurry as this shifts its way north and east, but this will look to be a mainly dry day and a cold one today. But as we look ahead to Tuesday through Thursday, we'll see a warm spell move in, an early taste of spring, but some might call this fool's spring, as we're back down into the 30s as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend. But we could approach near 50 by Wednesday. This will be accompanied by some rain showers as well, widespread rain. So you might need to keep that umbrella handy as well. So March, as we look between the 1st and the 31st, the changes in the weather, first off with the average temperature going from 35 to 47. Now, when it comes to daylight, this is the more notable scenario here. Now, the sunrise won't change all too much to daylight saving. We go from 6:36 to 6:43, but the sunset 550 going to 726. And aided by that fastly increasing sun angle, we'll see the daylight change by gaining an hour and 28 minutes of daylight. This is the fastest we gain daylight all year long as we approach the spring equinox. So if you're a fan of more daylight, well, here we are, the additional hour and 30 minutes by the end of the month. So high pressure bringing cold conditions ends today. We'll see a warm front move in along with some warmer temperatures and a mix of a few flurries and sprinkles tomorrow, and then widespread rainfall on Wednesday. But again, today it's a mainly quiet one with a few flurries passing over us, otherwise partly sunny skies. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a passing flurry or sprinkle as that warm front moves over us. And then temperatures which hover above and below freezing here and there. By the way, heads up, there could be some icy spots here and there overnight into the early morning hours. We warm up into the 30s, 40s, eventually approaching near 50 by Wednesday. But the key here is that we're seeing widespread sustained rainfall. And this is something we have to monitor when it comes to the snowmelt as well. We still have plenty of snow on the ground in areas up to the north, and that focus there would be the potential for flooding concerns. Now, for now, the risk is low, but we'll let you know ahead of time. We're keeping a very close eye on area creeks, streams, and rivers, with the potential of some spots up north seeing an inch, inch and a half of additional rainfall, along with the several inches of water equivalent snow on the ground up there as well. Following this warm stretch, Tuesday through Thursday, we're back down to the 30s by Friday and Saturday. The greatest heart run and walk on Saturday looks to be on the colder side, not too cold, but dodging a few snow showers. So there have been colder and there have been more
snowier.
impactful ones.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, so this looks to be not too bad of a Saturday.
All right, that sounds good. Hopefully it holds true. Thank you, Eric. Well, firefighters in the Carolinas.
News with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Monday afternoon to you. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And let's take a first look at that forecast. Really chilly this morning. Single digits on the way up, and even some snow in the air, but quiet right now.
Yeah, for the most part, it's quiet. Still rather cold out, but warmer days are ahead. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But again, yeah, look outside right now across the Mesnet camera network, as you can see here. A mix of blue skies here and there, but also a mix of some flurries and light snow, especially in locations south and west of Utica in parts of, say, Madison and Chenango County. Even a few flurries recently in Oneonta, which that has since come to an end. In fact, a live look at the wind chills right now, still 18 degrees wind chill in Rome, a 2-degree wind chill, I should say, in Saranac Lake. It was at minus 23 this morning. As you can see here, weather station in Hamilton reporting some snow, everywhere else mainly quiet. We can see it right here on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Now, the next 12 hours, temperatures peak in the upper 20s, and then we cool back down into the teens tonight with mainly cloudy skies and a few peaks of clearing here and there. We are looking at a gradual warm-up for the middle of the week, followed by a cool down yet again. But with this warm-up, there's potential for some heavy rainfall, and that, of course, could bring some concerns for area creeks and rivers. So we'll have a full look at that coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
Eric, thanks. The Department of Corrections.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. After a bitter cold start today, even some of us waking up to a dusting of snow, well, things have cleared out here in the Mohawk Valley. A live look at downtown Utica on the Nexus Center camera. Peaks of blue skies and some puffy cumulus clouds out there. Now, some of you are still seeing some light snow, primarily those of you just south of the Mohawk Valley and parts of Madison and Chenango County. But beside that, things are looking relatively quiet here in the valley. A variable wind of 4 miles per hour feels like 18, so it is still a cold afternoon, but there are some warmer days ahead. The radar picking up on that lake effect snow, spotty and light in parts of Madison, Chenango, and Otsego counties as we speak. And we'll continue to see this shift its way north and weaken throughout the afternoon and evening as this warm air begins to move in from the south. Now, warm is relative. I would say probably with what we've seen over the past several months, that 40s and 50s, I guess you could call it warm. But approaching near 50 by Wednesday, but it won't be with sunshine and dry weather. It'll be with stronger winds and rainfall. So you might not be able to go out and enjoy the sunshine like you might be thinking with some warmer days. In the early March, usually that's when we get those warmer days aided with winds and rain. Then following that, we're back down to the 30s Friday through Sunday. So winter isn't over just yet, even though we have a full spring arriving momentarily. So today, high temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, wind chills keeping things a little cooler. Then that north wind shifts to a more south wind. This arrives by tomorrow morning. That'll aid with increasing humidity levels, the potential for a passing shower or flurry as that warm front moves over us. Then by Tuesday evening, high temperatures slightly above freezing, overnight briefly dipping below freezing, and then climbing into the 40s, approaching near 50 by Wednesday afternoon. Now, notice here, we've got widespread rain, strong south wind, lots of upsloping taking place right here north of the Mohawk Valley. And this will sustain itself for the evening and overnight. And now, this is estimated, so don't make sure if you're wondering if these aren't accurate totals. It's just a rough estimate of snowpack on the ground. The reason why I'm showing this is because we've still got plenty of snow, primarily north of the Mohawk Valley, aided with potentially 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of additional rainfall. Means we have to be vigilant with the potential for flooding over the next couple of days. So we'll keep a close eye on streams, creeks, river monitors and whatnot. But also, if any of you report any frozen streams or river or waterways and you're willing to report it, you can send it to weather@wktv.com with a photo or video. Again, the sooner the better. If we know an ice jam is about to take place, we can relay it to those who can put out warnings if needed. So again, vigilant over the next couple of days with the heavier rainfall and the warmer temperatures. We fall back below freezing again by the weekend.
All right, so that roller coaster continues. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, now to those dangerous, raging wildfires. Hey, good afternoon once again for this noon hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
We want to get right to the forecast, and clearing up, but still chilly out there. Winter is holding on as long as it can.
Yeah, Old Man Winter is still as strong as can be right now, trying his best to keep us in the grip of winter time. In fact, look outside right now. Although it doesn't quite look like winter time out there, well, maybe there is still some snow pockets there, but it was actually sunny moments ago in Cooperstown. That has given way to cloudy skies. Same thing in Oneonta, which is a little bit on the darker side of the overcast down in parts of the southern valleys. But for parts of central New York this afternoon, it's a lot more on the sunny side. Well, maybe closer to the Mohawk Valley and less of central New York out to the west. But temperatures still looking very cold. The wind chill at 2 in Saranac Lake, in the teens for much of the central New York area, in the 20s out in the Finger Lakes in western New York. The radar is picking up on a few passing snow showers, and primarily in parts of Madison, Shenango, and Otsego County as we speak. It's rather light and very narrow right here in parts of the southern valleys here south of Route 20. But the next 12 hours today will climb as high as the upper to mid-20s. But following that, we'll see the temperatures dip down below freezing, or already below freezing, but below the 20-degree mark into the early morning hours tomorrow. But warm-up is on the way, along with widespread rainfall. We have a look at how much we can expect and the flooding concerns with that in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. 13 schools from all around.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a cold one today. It's been a cold weekend overall. Winter coming, or at least March coming in like a lion with winter-like conditions. But outside right now, the sun is peeking out in the Mohawk Valley, although there are a few clouds and flurries to the south. Temperatures, though, still really struggling to warm up. We're at 24, still below freezing. Feels like 18 with that variable wind of 4 miles an hour. And to the south, we're tracking a few areas of light lake effect snow, which is coming to an end and weakening as it shifts its way north and east throughout the day today. But as that moves to the north and east, we'll start to see a more westerly wind versus a northerly wind. And that means we'll see a more average temperature. And as we see that wind shift more to the south, a warm-up, full spring moves in. Tuesday through Thursday, well above average temperatures in the 40s, approaching near 50 by Wednesday, followed by a cool down back into the 30s by the end of the week. Now, although it's approaching near 50 by Wednesday, you might not want to grab those sunglasses. Better yet, want to grab that umbrella. It's going to be less of a warm and sunny day out and more of a windy and rainy one. So to our skycast today, it's relatively quiet, a passing flurry or two this evening as clouds increase. Partly clear skies tonight. And then tomorrow, dry start. Notice that south wind with some of those small arrows right there indicating we're going to start seeing that south wind move in, as well as more of that moisture getting pulled into the area. That means a passing flurry or sprinkle tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Temperatures still in the upper 30s by tomorrow night. Then overnight we fall down briefly below freezing, warming back up above freezing by Wednesday morning. And this is where our concern lies. Here comes the rainfall, and it's a steady, consistent rain, heavier at times in areas to the north as the system moves to the area. Why is it a concern? Well, obviously, we are in springtime. We still have a good amount of, or I should say wintertime, approaching springtime. A good amount of snowpack in areas to the north. This is an estimated snowfall map, of course. This is not an official measurement here and there, but the general idea of this map is to mention that there's still a lot of snow up north, and along with potentially 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of more rain, that could spell concern for floodings. Now, no flood watches are in effect just yet. We're in talks with the Weather Service in Binghamton, who issues those watches, and we'll let you know if they do get issued. But again, we're keeping a very close eye on Wednesday into Thursday. A lot of rain, a lot of snow melt, and that's where we'll keep a close eye on those streams, creeks, rivers, and whatnot. And along with that, too, ice jams as well. So, you know, everything that takes place in springtime, a lot of snow and a lot of rainfall, that's our main priority. But following that, we're back down into the 30s just in time for the Heart Run Walk this weekend.
All right, yeah, and like we talked this morning, the Heart Run Walk has seen all sorts of weather, anything from rain to snow to frigid cold to all of it in one day. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And obviously Wednesday, Thursday, keep an eye on the creeks and streams to make sure that we don't have any flood issues. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, there continues to be ongoing...
Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, and we were looking ahead to some risks in our forecast.
Yeah, we've got this big warm-up taking place this week, and with all the melting snow, there's going to be a couple of things that we're going to highlight here. We've got an alert day for Wednesday. What we're thinking is there's going to be, again, a significant amount of melting snow. This could lead to localized flooding. There's not a flood watch in effect from the National Weather Service. We're not necessarily concerned about larger bodies of water. It's more like where the water can get stuck due to snow clogging things like storm drains. Also, too, for areas that have ice on them, the area of rivers and streams like the West Canada, there is the chance for ice jams. It's not for everyone. For example, the Sequoia Creek to my right is not having any ice whatsoever, so that's not a concern for ice jams. But the area, streams and rivers that do, that will be something to watch. Things look quiet. This evening, temperature 28 degrees. We're going to stay pretty quiet for the short term. But again, we are going to be warming up, and the day to watch is Wednesday. We're talking about rainfall amounts as well. Look at the forecasts coming up. Kristen, back to you.
New York State has launched a recruitment campaign to get federal...
The latest Storm Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. Pretty nice day today. Temperatures made it into the upper 20s, lots of sunshine. As we take a live look in downtown Utica, it is going to be a pretty quiet night tonight. We're not going to be as cold as we were this morning. Some cloud cover on the way. The big story is what happens for the middle of this week. We're expecting a significant warm-up plus rain. The combination of snow melt and rainfall could lead to localized flooding. and also the chance for ice jams. More on that in just a second. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, it's pretty quiet across the region. Some updated season snowfall totals to pass along from some of our spotters in our area. Again, WKTV, our local meteorologist taking the measurement in Utica. We went over 100 inches on Saturday, 101.4 inches. Doug and Sarah in Schuyler, the hills of Schuyler, 164.9 inches. Forestport, 152 inches. Marcy Anthony with 183. Boonville, 225 inches. And Kay in Ava measuring 229 inches. And of course, all that snow is going to be melting over the next couple of days. In addition to that, we're watching the potential for ice jams in areas that have a thick ice cover, streams and rivers that are frozen over. Not all streams have frozen over. Some of them are. And if any of that ice gets dislodged on Wednesday, as that ice breaks apart, sometimes it can get stuck in certain areas, which is what causes an ice jam. And these are wildly unpredictable, but there is the chance that we could see a few of these here on Wednesday. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, Westernville, 31 degrees. Westmoreland, 29. Little Falls, 28. Across Southern Valleys, Cooperstown, 28. Oneonta, 27. Unadilla with 32. So the weather stays quiet for the short term, but things are going to change as low pressure moves in from the west. This is a big area of low pressure. The strongest winds with it go to our west. It's more of a rainmaker for us locally. Tonight we're looking at cloudy skies. Temperatures drop down briefly into the teens. We'll start out tomorrow morning with overcast skies. As a warm front rolls through, there is a very small chance we could see a sprinkle, but the vast majority of the day looks dry. Temperatures climb to 40 degrees. We stay above freezing tomorrow night, and then widespread rain starts to roll in for Wednesday. Wednesday looks like a warm day, but it's also going to be wet and kind of more of a dreary day than anything else, with widespread rain expected. Temperatures staying in the 40s to near 50 degrees for the high. Projected rainfall for Wednesday, we're looking at about a half an inch to an inch of rain. When we combine this with potentially 2 to 3 inches of melting snow, again, the rivers and streams across our area will be watched for any possible flooding issues. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temperature of 12. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, 42 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're up to 50 degrees on Wednesday. Again, dealing with rain. Rain showers switching over to snow showers Thursday, 44. It's windy Friday, 36 for Hart Run and Walk. It looks pretty quiet. Some sunshine Saturday. Snow showers return on Sunday.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Well, firefighters are working. Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we have run into a unique situation with all of this melting snow, and we've actually got some folks on Facebook, something interesting to pass along. For those of you that have feet and feet of snow, as it comes off your roof, it could damage your windows. And a lot of people have put up plyboard and plywood along the windows, sometimes pallets, just to prevent something like this from breaking your windows. As the ice, as the snow comes off the roof, if there's nowhere for it to go, sometimes it could go right into the house. So this could save your windows if you could do this ahead of time. And with all the melting that we're expecting over the next couple of days, this could be an issue for folks across the North Country. So something to think about and keep in mind here as temperatures warm up. We'll be close to 50 degrees on Wednesday. This will come with other problems in addition to snow coming off the roof. There's the risk for localized flooding and along with ice jams. So we've got Wednesday as an alert day. Temperatures will start to cool off as we head towards the weekend. Things are quiet out there tonight. If you're heading out, maybe taking the dog for a walk, the weather looks pretty good. We'll see temperatures drop into the 20s, so it will be pretty chilly tonight. Tonight's featured dog, Lily from Utica. This is brought to you by Nissan. We're taking a look at when the rain arrives and how much we're expecting, and that's coming out. Back over to you.
JJ and his best friends from
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We have a pretty significant warm-up expected this week. Temperatures will be making a run towards 50 degrees on Wednesday, and that's going to come with its own problems with snow melt. In addition to this, we're expecting widespread rain. Live look in Oneonta. Things look pretty quiet this evening. If you haven't had a chance to clear snow from storm drains, I highly recommend it. I know it's been a challenge, especially with the amount of snow that some folks have had, plus the fact that it's been really icy, and with the cold weather over the weekend, it's probably still very icy to do that. But with it warming up tomorrow, if there's any chance that you can get things cleared up before the next round of rain, that would be very, very helpful. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet across the region. We will stay dry for about the next 24 hours before the next weather system rolls in. Before we talk about that, just a reminder, this is the weekend. The clocks change. We're going to spring forward 1 hour Saturday night. We're going to have our first 7 o'clock sunset of the year. There's a trade-off, though. We're going to lose daylight at the beginning of the day. Skywatchers checking in. Clinton, 30 degrees. Yorkville, 30. Boonville, 25. Curtis, 23. Norway, 19. Old Forge, 24. Skinevus, 29. Westford, 25. Paints Hollow with 24. It's going to get pretty chilly tonight, but with cloud cover on the way, it's not going to be as cold as it was last night. We've got, again, clouds moving in. Our next weather maker is going to bring us a warm-up, and we're going to continue to watch areas, streams, and rivers with lots of melting snow expected over the next couple of days. Again, at the time being, no issues have taken place locally, but we're going to continue to monitor area rivers and streams over the next couple of days. Tonight, the weather looks quiet. Overnight lows drop down into the teens. It's a cloudy day tomorrow. We start out in the 20s. Temperatures will warm up. A warm front rolls through. That could be accompanied by a sprinkle in the afternoon. But again, the vast majority of the day looks dry. Temperatures expected to hit 40 degrees by later in the day. Tomorrow night, temperatures stay generally above freezing, and then the warm up and the thaw really kicks into high gear for Wednesday. Temperatures make a run towards 50 degrees. In addition to that, we're expecting widespread, steady, soaking rainfall. And the early projections call for about a ½ inch to an inch of rain. We think there's going to be 2 to maybe 3 inches of snow melt that's going to take place. So when the snow melts, it'll produce about 2 to 3 inches of liquid from the snowpack, which, again, that's the concern as that all runs into rivers and streams. We'll have to keep an eye on that. There is at least a chance that we could have some issues here with localized flooding. We'll keep you posted. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temperature of 12. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, 42 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, with the snow melt and the rain, we've got Wednesday as an alert day for the possibility of any localized flooding and even the chance of some ice jams, too. Thursday, we cool down, 44. It's windy on Friday, snow showers, 36. Dry, colder weather expected as we head into the weekend. We'll be right back.
Copeland and Jason Palace.
The death of a mid-state correctional inmate is under investigation.
The 22-year-old Messiah Nantui stayed to prepare for ice jam flooding Tuesday through Thursday afternoon. That means the usual suspects of our viewing area need to be vigilant. With the warm temperatures along with rain, concern for localized flooding, elevated river flows with some ice jams, especially creeks and streams in northern central New York, Tug Hill, North Country as well. State DOT, they're on alert. They'll have over 1,600 dump trucks, hundreds of large loaders, and dozens of hippers and excavators at the ready. All state is going to be ready to go. Also, our chief meteorologist, Bill Curtis, tracking an alert day for Wednesday.
Yeah, we're tracking that potential for flooding due to melting snow as well as some heavy rain. We're thinking about an inch of rain could fall in spots. Now, as far as ice jams go, again, when you look at places like the Sequoia Creek, there's no ice on it. So if there's no ice on the stream, there's not going to be any ice jams. So we're noticing that there are a lot of rivers around here that are ice-free, which is good news, but not every single stream or river is ice-free. And as we get warmer temperatures, some of that ice could break apart. We're thinking some of the streams closer to the Adirondacks could have some issues here. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Oh, it's quiet across the region. It was a beautiful day, cold day. Current temperature of 27 degrees. We're going to stay dry this evening. Partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will fall into the teens tonight. The weather warms up, and again, we're tracking some rain as well. Look at the forecast that's coming out. Kristen, back to you.
New at 6, MVHS has announced
Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Got a nice sunset taking place right now. The weather tonight looking pretty quiet, but our focus is going to be on what's ahead. We've got this warm surge of air coming in for Wednesday. along with rain, and that could cause some issues here with melting snow, the possibility of localized flooding, and ice jams. And again, the day that we're watching here is Wednesday, a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. Things look quiet out there. Live looking downtown Utica. Again, we're looking at dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The wild card Wednesday looks to be ice jams, where ice breaks apart on area streams, and sometimes it gets caught in certain areas. Some streams are more prone to ice jams than others. There are a lot of streams around here that are ice-free, so I think this is going to be limited in terms of the concern. For example, the Sequoia Creek is ice-free, and if there's no ice on the stream, this is not going to be a concern. But we're thinking of some of the colder pockets in our area, like the East Canada and West Canada creeks. By the way, for those of you that live in the North Country, places that have way too much snow, we've been getting some tips from folks, from some of our viewers, and I wanted to pass this along. As we get warmer weather, as the chunks of ice start to fall off the roof, it can damage windows. So putting a piece of plywood or a pallet was one suggestion from one of our viewers along the windows could prevent damage. And it's not too late. Again, as we see a lot of melting snow over the next couple of days, this could be a preventative measure. This could save your window or two. Again, it's for people that have a lot of snow north of the Mohawk Valley, not for everyone, of course. Skywatchers checking in. Temperatures below freezing. Mike and New Hartford 28 degrees, Norway 19, Westford 25 degrees, Worcester with 27. The next weather system moves in on Wednesday, and again, the primary concern is rainfall, melting snow, potential of some localized flooding. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast for dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the teens. It's pretty quiet tomorrow. Temperatures climb into the upper 30s to low 40s. Very small chance of a passing shower as a warm front rolls through. Watch what happens Wednesday. Widespread rain arrives, so it's going to be a soaker. We'll be close to 50 degrees, but it's not going to be one of those nice 50-degree days. It's going to be wet, it's going to be windy, it's going to be cloudy, very dreary. And again, we're looking at rain for the majority of the day, so it looks like a washout. In terms of rainfall, the early numbers here about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain here on Wednesday, but I think we'll see 2 to 3 times as much melting snow that will eventually find its way into local streams and rivers. So again, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temperature of 12. Tomorrow, cloudy skies 42. It's up to 50 on Wednesday. It does cool down heading into the weekend. Windy, colder weather. Heart Run looks okay right now. And also don't forget, the clocks change this weekend.
Clocks. This is the clock change I like.
We spring ahead, yes.
More daylight. All right, thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. Better.
With Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get to those stories in a minute, but first, we need to talk about the weather coming our way this week. The governor even asking New Yorkers to watch out for ice jams and flooding. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis laying it all out for us. What can we expect?
We're expecting a lot of rain, and we're expecting a lot of snow melt, and the ice jam risk is very out in the open. It's hard to predict these things.
Yeah.
And we're actually asking for folks to help us keep an eye on things too. We have river gauges, but we could certainly use eyes on these streams. If you start to notice the ice break apart, take a picture, send it to us. Very, very helpful to have reports if that ends up being the case. But again, this is going to be on Wednesday for the potential of some localized flooding. We've got an alert day just in case. This is not something that we think is a slam dunk scenario, but we just want to put that out there. Just in case there is some minor problems, we are going to be on top of it. Clear skies this evening. We're cooling off. We're at 23 degrees. Dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Tonight, temperatures will fall into the teens, but we're going to have a couple of warm days ahead, especially Wednesday. 50 degrees for the high temperature. There's going to be a lot of melting snow, a lot of runoff that will be taking place too. We're partly cloudy tonight. We'll drop down into the teens. Again, we're tracking rainfall heading into Wednesday. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Trump administration is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Pretty quiet day, pretty quiet night. Nice to see the sunshine today. Temperatures made it into the upper 20s. Really nice afternoon after a very, very cold Sunday. Things are looking quiet on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Weather is going to change in a big way over the next 24 hours. The primary concern is the potential of ice jams. So we've got some ice on area rivers and streams. Not all areas, rivers and streams have ice on them, but some of them do. And with this warmer weather coming in, as that ice breaks apart and pushes downstream, sometimes it's prone to jamming. And that could create a sudden rapid flood in a very specific area of the stream. And again, these are wildly unpredictable, but it is a setup that we are looking at for Wednesday with warmer weather and the potential for some of that ice to dislodge. Just looking at a couple of areas, streams and rivers, I know the Sequoia doesn't have ice on it, so there's no ice on the stream, there's no chance of ice jams. And there are several of them that are in the clear, but not all of them. And again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. Another thing that has been of note over the weekend, just looking through Facebook, looking through a lot of your messages, a few of you brought up this very interesting thing that I thought was worth passing along. For those of you that live in the heaviest snow belt area, the snow's coming down, not a bad idea to put plywood on your windows as the heavy snow and ice falls off your roof. Sometimes it falls back onto the house and it could break windows. And there are several folks that have had broken windows from this. And again, it's not too late with this thaw coming to do that. Radar and satellite image, pretty quiet for now. Keeping an eye on area streams here for Wednesday. This rain's going to be arriving Wednesday morning. So we're dry Tuesday. Could see a few sprinkles as a warm front rolls through. Temperatures climb into the low 40s. Pretty quiet afternoon. Wednesday is the day the rain arrives. It is going to be a mild day Wednesday, but it's not going to be all that nice. We're looking at widespread rain and wind. Temperatures will be close to 50 degrees. And then the weather starts to cool down. We're expecting about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rainfall as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday. In addition, there's going to be 2 to 3 times as much snow melt. So we'll have to continue to keep an eye on area streams and rivers. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temperature of 12. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, highs in the low 40s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, the alert day for Wednesday for, again, possible flooding. We'll keep you posted. Thursday, rain and snow showers 44. Windy on Friday, colder 36. It looks dry heading towards the Heart Run and Walk. Don't forget, this is the weekend. We spring forward.
Spring forward.
Change the clocks. They change on their own these days.
Yeah, we do this thing for those of us that still have a clock.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got a phone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, Makers
with Jason Palace.
A lot to get to tonight, but before we do any of that, we need to talk a little bit about the weather, because coming our way this week, even the governor asking New Yorkers to watch out, possibility of ice jams and flooding. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis here to break it all down for us. So we're looking at Wednesday.
Yeah, so we've got this warm up coming. Temperatures are expected to get near 50 degrees. We're expecting a heavy soaking rain. And as we all know, there's a lot of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
That's going to have to melt at some point, and it's going to go into rivers and streams. And this is why we have the alert day for the potential of localized flooding. And there might be a few ice jams. It's always a wild card. It's very hard to predict this. But as long as there's ice on streams, the ice can break apart. And the reason why it's so hard to predict is because sometimes the ice jams, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the stream and how fast the water is moving. There's a lot of variables that are just beyond our ability. But what we can tell you is that this is possible as we head into Wednesday. And that's why we're putting out the alert day, just so you're aware. We'll be tracking this throughout the next couple of days. Current temperature 20 degrees, clear skies. It's cooling off. It's dry out there. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. You can see temperatures are going to be warming up. We'll be in the 40s tomorrow, near 50 on Wednesday. We're still above freezing Thursday before we start to cool down heading into the weekend. Partly cloudy skies will drop into the teens this evening. We're tracking rainfall amounts and when this all starts coming up. Jason, back over to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Trump administration.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Pretty quiet out there after a nice day. Nice to see the sunshine. And it was a lot warmer than Sunday. A lot easier to be outdoors. And, well, the sun really does help. We will not see the sun tomorrow, but we will see warmer temperatures. And we're looking at the radar this evening. And things are looking pretty quiet. What I am concerned about Wednesday at the top of the list is this idea of ice jams. That's when ice starts to break apart on areas, streams, and rivers, and it gets stuck. It gets clogged in certain parts of the river, and it can create ice jams. This is a wild card. It's very hard to try to predict these things, but with warmer weather after a cold winter, these are possible heading into Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon. Another thing I wanted to pass along, found this from some of our viewers on social media, especially to the north. With the ice fall, a lot of people have been putting plyboard on top of windows, pallets also, 2x4s, 4x4s. So when ice falls off the roof, it's protecting the window, something to protect the window. Otherwise, that chunk of ice can break the windows. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it is. And a lot of people have been doing this to protect their property, and it might save your window if you live in one of the areas that has a lot of snow. Again, look at the snow in this picture. This is for people that have feet of snow. If the snow is relatively low, you don't have to worry about this. It's not going to hurt your windows. But again, something that a lot of folks to the north have been doing over the past couple of weeks. Radar and satellite image, things look quiet for now. Stream levels look okay. But again, we're going to be keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. Tonight, clouds will hang around. Overnight lows drop into the teens. Tomorrow, it looks cloudy throughout the day, but it does warm up. Very small chance of a sprinkle as we head into the afternoon as a warm front rolls through. Not a big deal. Temperatures climb to near 40 degrees. Tomorrow night, temperatures stay above freezing, so the snow continues to slowly melt. The snow melt accelerates on Wednesday. The winds pick up, temperatures climb into the 40s to near 50 degrees, and we get a lot of rain. Rain's going to be with us throughout the majority of the day. So even though it's a warm day, it's not going to be a great day to be outdoors. It's going to be a soggy afternoon and evening. We're talking about rainfall between about half an inch to as much as an inch of rain. In addition to this, we could have snow melt that could be 2 to 3 times larger than the amount of rain that's falling. So we combine both of these together. Again, that's why we are going to be keeping an eye on streams and rivers across central New York. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temperature of 12. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, 42. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It cools down as we head into Thursday. Rain and snow showers, 44. Windy on Friday, 36. It's colder over the weekend. Heart Run and Walk looks dry. Don't forget, we spring ahead. Saturday night, we lose an hour. Hopefully not of sleep.
But we gain daylight, right?
Well, we get more daylight at the end of the day, but we lose it in the beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Coming up next.